My friends, let us pause for a moment and reflect on the wonder that is God. He is not distant or unreachable, but nearer than your breath, more intimate than your thoughts. To give glory to God is to recognize this truth and live in harmony with His divine nature. God is the source of all manifestation. This profound truth speaks to the divine nature of creation and our relationship with the infinite power that resides within us. To understand this is to grasp the very essence of life itself, that nothing in existence comes to be without the will and presence of God. Every event, every form, and every experience originates from this divine source. It is not something external or distant, it is the very fabric of reality, ever present and ever creative. Consider the beauty of the natural world, the rising sun that brings warmth to the earth, the rivers that flow with life, and the trees that bear fruit in their season. These are not random occurrences, but deliberate expressions of the divine. They remind us that creation is not chaotic, but governed by an infinite intelligence. This intelligence is God, the source from which all things emerge. To see the world with such understanding is to acknowledge the divine hand at work in every detail, no matter how small. Human life, too, is a testament to this truth. The fact that you exist is itself a miracle of divine manifestation. From the intricate design of your body to the boundless potential of your mind, you are evidence of God's creative power. Your thoughts, desires, and aspirations are not random, they are seeds planted by the divine within your soul, urging you toward growth and fulfillment. Every time you act in alignment with these desires, you participate in the sacred act of creation, giving glory to the source of all that is. To recognize God as the source of all manifestation is to shift your perspective on life. It moves you from a mindset of lack to one of abundance. If God is infinite and all things flow from Him, then how could there ever be a shortage? Lack is an illusion born of misunderstanding. The truth is that all you could ever need or desire already exists in the infinite mind of God. It is simply waiting for you to align with it, to claim it as your own through faith and imagination. Faith is the bridge between the unseen and the seen, between the spiritual and the physical. To have faith is to know that everything you desire is already provided for. It is not about pleading with God to give you something, for He has already given you all things. Faith is the quiet assurance that, as the source of all manifestation, God has set the stage for your success, happiness, and fulfillment. All that is required of you is to trust in His infinite wisdom and to act as though your desires are already fulfilled. Imagination plays a crucial role in this process. It is through imagination that the formless becomes form, that the unseen becomes seen. When you imagine a life of abundance, health, or joy, you are not merely daydreaming, you are engaging in the divine process of creation. Your imagination is a sacred tool, a direct link to the mind of God. It is through this faculty that He manifests His will in your life. Therefore, what you imagine consistently and with conviction becomes your reality. This is not magic, but the natural outworking of divine law. To fully embrace God as the source of all manifestation, you must also surrender your need for control. The ego often seeks to dictate how and when things should happen, but this is not your role. Your role is to trust, to align, and to allow. God's ways are higher than ours, His timing perfect. When you surrender your will to His, you open the door for miracles to unfold. What may seem impossible to your limited understanding is simple for the infinite intelligence of God. Every manifestation in your life is a reflection of your awareness of God's presence. If you focus on lack and limitation, that is what you will experience, not because God withholds, but because your awareness is misaligned. However, when you focus on abundance, gratitude, and the certainty that God is the source of all good, your life will overflow with blessings. It is not a question of whether God will provide it, it is a question of whether you will allow yourself to receive. Gratitude is one of the most powerful ways to align with this divine source. When you give thanks, you acknowledge that God is the giver of all good things. Gratitude shifts your focus from what you lack to what you already have, and in doing so, it opens the floodgates of abundance. It is an act of faith, a declaration that you trust in the goodness of God and the infinite supply that flows from Him. As you walk through life, remember that you are never separate from this divine source. God is not just the creator of the universe, but the very essence of your being. To live is to manifest, and to manifest is to glorify God. Every thought you think, every word you speak, and every action you take is an expression of His power working through you. You are both the creation and the Creator, a vessel through which God's glory is revealed. In recognizing God as the source of all manifestation, you step into a new way of being. You begin to see the world not as a place of struggle, but as a canvas for divine expression. Challenges become opportunities, desires become prayers, and life itself becomes a sacred dance with the infinite. When you live with this awareness, you glorify God in all that you do, and in return He manifests His glory through you. This is the divine cycle. The eternal truth God is the source, and you are His creation, ever unfolding in love and abundance. Is the key to unlock divine power, the bridge that connects the seen with the unseen, the material with the spiritual. It is not mere hope or wishful thinking, but a profound conviction that transcends circumstances and appearances. Faith is the quiet knowing, the inner certainty that what you desire already exists in the infinite mind of God and will manifest in your life according to divine timing and order. To cultivate faith is to access the limitless power of the Creator and to become a participant in the divine process of creation. To understand faith, one must first recognize its nature. Faith is not bound by logic or confined to what the physical senses perceive. It exists beyond reason, rooted in the spiritual realm where all possibilities reside. While the world may teach us to rely solely on what we can see and measure, faith requires us to trust in the unseen. It asks us to believe in what has not yet taken form, to see with the eyes of the Spirit rather than the eyes of the body. This is not an act of foolishness but one of divine wisdom, for everything that now exists first existed as an unseen reality. But faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. It is the seed from which all manifestations grow. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not doubt that it will grow. You trust in the process of nature. Similarly, faith is the seed you plant in the fertile soil of your imagination and belief. You may not see the outcome immediately, but the seed begins to germinate the moment it is planted. It draws nourishment from your thoughts, emotions, and actions, eventually breaking through the surface to become a tangible reality. The power of faith lies in its ability to align you with the infinite intelligence of God. When you have faith, you are not trying to force outcomes or manipulate circumstances. Instead, you are surrendering to the divine flow of life. Faith allows you to rest in the assurance that God's plans are perfect and that everything is unfolding as it should. This does not mean you remain passive. On the contrary, faith inspires action, but it is action taken from a place of trust, rather than fear or desperation. Faith is the antidote to doubt and fear, which are the greatest barriers to accessing divine power. Doubt questions whether your desires are possible, while fear imagines all the ways they could fail. Both stem from a limited understanding of God's nature and His infinite capacity to provide. Faith, however, knows that with God, all things are possible. It does not concern itself with how or when a desire will manifest, trusting instead that the infinite intelligence of God will orchestrate the perfect outcome. To cultivate faith, you must first align your thoughts with the truth of God's promises. This requires a shift in focus from what is lacking to what is possible. Instead of dwelling on what you do not have, fix your mind on the vision of your desires already fulfilled. Imagine the feeling of joy, gratitude, and peace that accompanies their realization. By doing so, you are not merely entertaining a pleasant fantasy, you are activating the creative power of faith. Your imagination, infused with faith, becomes a magnet that draws your desires from the unseen realm into physical reality. Also requires patience, for divine power operates on its own perfect timing. The modern world often demands instant results, but faith understands that true manifestation requires a process. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, so too does faith require time to bear fruit. Impatience can disrupt this process, leading to doubt and discouragement. However, when you trust in God's timing, you can rest in the assurance that your desires will come to pass at the right moment and in the right way. Gratitude is another essential element of faith. To give thanks before your desires have manifested is a powerful act of trust. It is an acknowledgement that what you have asked for is already given in the spiritual realm and is on its way to you. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reinforcing your faith and aligning you with the divine flow of blessings. By expressing gratitude, you demonstrate that you believe in God's power and provision, even when the evidence has not yet appeared. Faith is not only a key to manifesting personal desires, but also a means of transforming your entire perspective on life. When you live in faith, you see challenges not as obstacles but as opportunities for growth and transformation. You recognize that every situation, no matter how difficult, carries within it the seeds of divine purpose. Faith enables you to face life's uncertainties with courage and confidence, knowing that God is always working for your highest good. Faith is a reflection of your relationship with God. It is the trust you place in His love, wisdom, and power. To have faith is to acknowledge that you are not alone, that you are supported by a force greater than yourself. It is the realization that God's power flows through you, making all things possible. When you live in faith, you become a co-creator with the divine, bringing forth the beauty and abundance of the spiritual realm into the physical world. Faith is not something you must struggle to attain. It is a gift already present within you. It grows as you nurture it, as you practice trusting in God and surrendering your fears. The more you exercise faith, the stronger it becomes, until it becomes the foundation of your life. And with faith as your foundation, there is nothing you cannot achieve, for you have unlocked the infinite power of God. God works through the power of your imagination, for it is through this sacred faculty that the unseen becomes seen, the formless takes form, and the divine expresses itself in your life. Imagination is not a trivial daydreaming tool, but the very gateway through which divine creation flows. It is the bridge between the infinite possibilities of the spiritual realm and the tangible experiences of the physical world. When you understand and embrace this truth, you unlock the key to co-creating with God, allowing His power to manifest in every area of your life. The imagination is a gift from God, a reflection of His creative power within you. Just as God imagined the universe into being, you too have been endowed with the ability to imagine and shape your reality. But every thought, every image, and every vision that arises within your mind carries the seed of potential. What you dwell upon in your imagination becomes the blueprint for your life. This is not merely a metaphor, but a spiritual law that governs the process of creation. When you engage your imagination, you are not simply thinking, you are creating. The images you hold in your mind, especially those accompanied by strong emotions, begin to influence the energy around you. These images are imprinted on the spiritual substance of the universe, which responds by aligning circumstances, events, and people to bring your vision into reality. It is through imagination that God works His miracles, shaping the invisible into the visible. Faith is the companion of imagination. To imagine something is to see it in your mind. To have faith is to know that it is already yours. Without faith, imagination remains a fleeting thought, a possibility that never materializes. But when you infuse your imagination with unwavering faith, you activate the divine power that turns your vision into reality. This is not an act of arrogance, but an acknowledgement of your divine inheritance. As a child of God, you are meant to create, to imagine, and to bring forth the desires that He has placed within your heart. It is important to recognize that God does not impose limits on your imagination. The only limits are those you impose upon yourself through doubt, fear, and a lack of belief in your own power. When you imagine freely and without constraint, you align yourself with the infinite nature of God. He works through your imagination to fulfill His divine purpose in your life, leading you toward growth, joy, and abundance. The key to using imagination as a tool for divine manifestation is clarity and focus. Vague or inconsistent images will produce vague or inconsistent results. To harness the full power of your imagination, you must be deliberate in the visions you create. Picture your desires as though they are already fulfilled. See yourself living the life you dream of, experiencing the joy, peace, and satisfaction that come with it. This mental rehearsal not only strengthens your faith, but also aligns your energy with the reality you wish to create. Emotion is another vital component. The images you hold in your imagination must be accompanied by the feeling of their reality. This is because emotion is the language of the soul, the signal that communicates your intentions to the divine. When you imagine something with strong emotion, be it gratitude, love, or excitement, you amplify the creative power of your vision. It is not enough to see, you must also feel, for it is the feeling that activates the divine power within you. One of the greatest barriers to using imagination effectively is the tendency to dwell on negative scenarios. Worry, fear, and doubt are forms of misused imagination. When you focus on what you do not want, you inadvertently attract those very things into your life. This is not because God desires negativity for you, but because the law of creation responds to your dominant thoughts and emotions. To counteract this, you must discipline your mind, choosing to imagine only those outcomes that align with God's promises of love, abundance, and peace. Imagination also plays a crucial role in overcoming challenges. When faced with difficulties, it is easy to become consumed by the problem, seeing only the obstacles in front of you. But through imagination, you can rise above your circumstances and envision a solution. In doing so, you invite divine guidance and inspiration to flow into your life. God often works through the images and ideas that arise in your mind, providing answers and opening doors that you may not have considered. Surrender is another essential aspect of this process. While you are a co-creator with God, the ultimate power of manifestation lies with Him. After imagining your desires and aligning your emotions with them, you must release your vision into His hands. Trust that He knows the perfect way to bring it to pass. This act of surrender is not a relinquishment of your power, but an acknowledgement of God's infinite wisdom and timing. Living with the awareness that God works through your imagination transforms your entire perspective on life. You begin to see yourself not as a passive observer, but as an active participant in the divine plan. Your imagination becomes a sacred space where you commune with God, where His power flows through you to create beauty, harmony, and abundance. Through imagination, you are reminded of your divine nature and your connection to the Creator. You are not separate from God, but an extension of His love and creativity. To imagine is to step into your role as a co-creator, to honor the divine spark within you. And as you use this gift wisely, you glorify God, bringing His kingdom to earth and fulfilling His purpose in your life. Surrendering your ego to the divine will is an act of profound transformation and liberation. It is the process of releasing the illusion of control and separateness and aligning yourself with the infinite wisdom and love of the Creator. The ego, while necessary for navigating the physical world, often becomes a barrier to spiritual growth when it dominates your thoughts, actions, and desires. It is the small self, rooted in fear, pride, and the need for validation. To surrender it is to step into the vastness of your true self, where the divine will flows unimpeded. The ego thrives on the illusion of individuality and self-reliance. It seeks to carve out its own path, often resisting the gentle guidance of the divine. This resistance creates tension, frustration, and a sense of disconnection from the source. The ego clings to its own plans and agendas, convinced that it knows what is best. Yet the divine will operates on a higher plane, orchestrating your life with a wisdom that far surpasses human understanding. To surrender your ego is to acknowledge that the plans of the Creator are not only greater but also infinitely more aligned with your highest good. Surrendering the ego does not mean losing your sense of self or becoming passive in life. Instead, it is the realization that your true identity is not confined to the ego's narrow perspective. You are not merely a body or a personality, but a divine being, intricately connected to the infinite. When you release the ego's grip, you open yourself to the flow of divine guidance, creativity, and love. You allow the higher self, the part of you that is one with God, to take the lead, transforming every aspect of your life. One of the challenges in surrendering the ego is its deep attachment to outcomes. The ego thrives on goals, achievements, and the validation that comes from external success. It measures worth by what has been accumulated, achieved, or recognized. While striving for success is not inherently wrong, the ego's attachment to these things often leads to a sense of incompleteness and dissatisfaction. True surrender involves letting go of the need to control outcomes and trusting that the divine will is unfolding perfectly, even when it does not align with your immediate desires or expectations. This surrender is not a one-time event, but a daily practice. It requires vigilance and humility, a willingness to recognize when the ego is asserting itself and gently redirecting your focus to the divine. Prayer, meditation, and moments of quiet reflection are powerful tools for this practice. In these sacred moments, you align your heart and mind with the will of God, seeking His guidance and releasing your attachment to ego-driven desires. Through this process, you begin to experience the peace that comes from trusting in a higher power. The ego often resists surrender because it fears losing its identity and control. It perceives surrender as weakness or defeat, but in truth it is the ultimate strength. Surrender requires the courage to let go of your limited perspective and embrace the infinite possibilities of divine wisdom. It is an act of trust, a declaration of faith in the Creator's love and provision. When you surrender, you are not giving up, you are stepping into a greater partnership with God, allowing Him to work through you in ways that exceed your imagination. The rewards of surrender are profound. When you release the ego, you free yourself from the burdens of fear, pride, and the need for constant validation. You no longer feel the pressure to prove yourself or to control every aspect of your life. Instead, you move with the flow of divine grace, experiencing a sense of ease and alignment. Challenges become opportunities for growth, and even setbacks are seen as part of a larger, divinely orchestrated plan. This perspective brings peace, joy, and a deep sense of fulfillment. Surrendering the ego also opens the door to greater love and connection. The ego often fosters separation, creating barriers between you and others through judgment, comparison, and competition. When you surrender these tendencies, you begin to see others through the eyes of the divine as reflections of the same infinite love that flows through you. This shift in perspective deepens your relationships, allowing you to love and serve without the need for recognition or reward. To surrender your ego to the divine will is to live in alignment with your true purpose. It is a return to the natural state of unity with God, where your desires and actions are guided by love, wisdom, and truth. This surrender does not mean abandoning your dreams or aspirations, but rather offering them to God, trusting that He will refine and fulfill them in the best possible way. In this partnership, you become a vessel for divine expression, creating a life that is not only successful by worldly standards, but also deeply meaningful and spiritually rich. The journey of surrender is not without its challenges. The ego will resist, clinging to its illusions of control and identity. But with each act of surrender, you strengthen your connection to the divine, experiencing the freedom and joy that come from living in alignment with God's will. This is the path of true liberation, where the burdens of the ego are replaced by the lightness of divine grace. As you walk this path, you come to realize that surrender is not the loss of self, but the discovery of your true self, the self that is one with the Creator, limitless and eternal. To recognize the divine in all things is to awaken to the profound truth that God is present everywhere and in everything. It is an invitation to see beyond the surface of life, to perceive the sacred essence that pervades all creation. This awareness transforms how you experience the world, shifting your perspective from separation to unity, from scarcity to abundance, and from fear to love. Recognizing the divine in all things is not merely a philosophical concept. It is a way of living that opens your heart to the infinite beauty, wisdom, and power of the Creator. The divine is not confined to grand spiritual experiences or holy places. It is present in the ordinary moments, the quiet spaces, and even the challenges you face. Every leaf, every drop of rain, and every encounter with another person is imbued with the essence of God. To recognize this is to step into a state of reverence and gratitude, acknowledging the sacredness of all that exists. When you see the divine in all things, life itself becomes a prayer, a celebration of the Creator's infinite love and creativity. This recognition begins with a shift in perception. It requires you to move beyond the superficial and look deeper into the nature of reality. The world, as perceived through the physical senses, often seems fragmented and chaotic. But when you look with the eyes of the Spirit, you see the underlying unity that connects all things. This unity is the presence of God, the source from which all creation flows. It is the same power that animates the stars in the sky, the flowers in the field, and the breath within your lungs. To recognize the divine in all things also means acknowledging that nothing is outside the reach of God's presence. Even in situations that seem difficult or painful, there is an opportunity to find the sacred. These moments challenge you to look beyond appearances and trust in the perfection of the divine plan. They remind you that growth often arises from struggle, and that God's presence is most profoundly felt when you turn inward and seek His guidance. Through this perspective, you learn to embrace life's complexities with faith and acceptance. Seeing the divine in others is a powerful practice that deepens your connection to God and humanity. Each person you encounter is a reflection of the Creator, carrying within them the spark of the divine. This truth remains, regardless of outward appearances or behavior. When you recognize this spark, you move beyond judgment and separation, allowing compassion and love to guide your interactions. You begin to see others not as competitors or strangers, but as fellow travelers on the journey of life, each uniquely expressing the infinite creativity of God. Recognizing the divine in all things also cultivates a sense of awe and wonder. It awakens you to the miracle of existence, the intricate balance and harmony that sustain life. This awareness invites you to approach the world with curiosity and humility, appreciating the vastness of God's creation. Whether it is the majesty of a mountain range, the delicate intricacy of a spider's web, or the quiet stillness of a sunrise, each moment becomes an opportunity to witness the divine at work. This sense of wonder nourishes your soul and strengthens your connection to the Creator. Gratitude naturally flows from recognizing the divine in all things. When you see God's presence everywhere, you realize that life is a gift filled with countless blessings. Gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is abundant, aligning you with the flow of divine grace. It opens your heart and mind, creating space for even greater blessings to manifest. Gratitude is not merely an emotion, but a state of being that allows you to walk through life with joy and contentment, trusting in the Creator's provision. This recognition also calls you to live in harmony with creation. When you see the divine in all things, you understand that the earth and its resources are sacred, entrusted to your care. You are moved to treat the natural world with respect and stewardship, knowing that your actions impact not only the environment, but also your relationship with God. Living in harmony with creation is an act of worship, a way of honoring the Creator by cherishing the work of His hands. To cultivate this awareness, you must quiet the noise of the ego and the distractions of the world. Practices such as meditation, prayer, and mindfulness help you attune to the divine presence. They allow you to move beyond the surface of life and connect with the deeper reality that underlies all things. These practices are not about escaping the world, but about engaging with it more fully, seeing it through the lens of the divine. As you grow in your ability to recognize the divine in all things, you begin to experience a profound sense of unity and purpose. You see yourself as part of a greater whole, connected to all of creation and to the Creator. This awareness brings peace, as you realize that you are never alone, never separate from God's love and guidance. It also inspires you to live with intention, knowing that your thoughts, words, and actions are expressions of the divine presence within you. Recognizing the divine in all things is a journey, one that deepens and expands over time. It is a practice of remembering who you are, a child of God, intricately connected to His creation. As you walk this path, you transform not only your own life but also the world around you, radiating the light of the divine wherever you go. Through this awareness, you become a vessel for God's love and a witness to His glory, embracing the sacredness of all that is. Gratitude is one of the most profound spiritual practices, a gateway to aligning yourself with the infinite abundance and love of the Creator. It is not merely an emotion but a state of being, a way of perceiving the world that magnifies the divine blessings in your life. When you cultivate gratitude, you open the door to an ever-increasing flow of goodness, for gratitude is the language of the soul that recognizes and honors the hand of God in all things. At its core, gratitude shifts your focus from what is lacking to what is present. It transforms your perception, allowing you to see the divine gifts already surrounding you. Whether it is the warmth of the sun, the breath that sustains you, or the love of those around you, there is always something to be grateful for. Gratitude awakens you to the miracle of existence, the intricate web of blessings that sustain and nourish your life. This awareness brings a profound sense of joy and contentment, for you realize that even in the smallest details, the Creator is present. Gratitude is a powerful amplifier of blessings because it aligns you with the divine flow. It is an expression of faith and trust, a declaration that you recognize and appreciate the goodness in your life. This recognition creates a vibrational match with the frequency of abundance, drawing more of the same into your experience. The law of divine manifestation is simple: what you focus on expands. By focusing on gratitude, you invite more blessings, for the universe responds to the energy you emit. In this way, gratitude becomes a magnet for miracles, a key that unlocks the storehouse of divine treasures. When you express gratitude, you acknowledge the source of all blessings, God. You honor His presence and provision, recognizing that everything good in your life flows from His infinite love and grace. This acknowledgement deepens your relationship with the Creator, strengthening the bond of trust and intimacy. Gratitude is a form of worship, a way of saying, I see you, I feel you, and I thank you. It is an act of humility that places you in alignment with the divine will, allowing you to receive with an open and joyful heart. Gratitude also transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. Life is not without its trials, but even in the midst of difficulty, there is always a reason to be grateful. Every challenge carries within it a lesson, a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more compassionate. Gratitude allows you to see these hidden gifts, to trust that even in hardship, the Creator is working for your highest good. When you give thanks in all circumstances, you affirm your faith in God's plan, knowing that His wisdom far exceeds your understanding. This perspective brings peace and resilience, enabling you to navigate life's storms with grace. Practicing gratitude is not about denying pain or pretending everything is perfect. It is about choosing to focus on the light, even when surrounded by darkness. It is the act of finding beauty in the ordinary, hope in the midst of despair, and joy in the simple moments. Gratitude does not erase difficulties but transforms your relationship with them, allowing you to see them as part of a greater tapestry woven by divine hands. One of the most transformative aspects of gratitude is its ability to deepen your connection with others. When you express gratitude for the people in your life, you strengthen the bonds of love and appreciation. You recognize the divine in them, honoring their presence and the ways they contribute to your journey. Gratitude fosters kindness, empathy, and understanding, creating a ripple effect that spreads positivity and healing. As you give thanks for others, you uplift not only your spirit but also theirs, creating a shared experience of divine love. Gratitude is also a powerful antidote to fear and anxiety. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, you shift from a mindset of scarcity to one of abundance. Fear thrives on the illusion of insufficiency, the belief that there is not enough to go around. Gratitude dispels this illusion by reminding you of the Creator's infinite provision. It anchors you in the present moment, where all your needs are met, and assures you that the same divine power that has sustained you will continue to do so. Cultivating gratitude requires practice and intentionality. It is not something that always comes naturally, especially in moments of struggle. Yet, the more you practice, the more it becomes a part of who you are. Begin by taking a few moments each day to reflect on the blessings in your life. Write them down, speak them aloud, or simply hold them in your heart. As you do, notice how your perspective shifts, how your spirit lightens, and how your connection to the divine deepens. Gratitude also grows when shared. Take time to express your thanks to others, to acknowledge the ways they have touched your life. Speak words of appreciation, offer acts of kindness, and let them know that they are valued. In doing so, you not only amplify your own blessings, but also become a blessing to others, a channel through which divine love flows. As you walk the path of gratitude, you will discover that blessings are not something you must seek, they are already present, waiting to be recognized. The act of giving thanks reveals the abundance that has always been yours, hidden in plain sight. Gratitude opens your eyes to the divine beauty of life, the intricate ways in which the Creator provides, guides, and sustains. It is a reminder that you are deeply loved, profoundly cared for, and forever connected to the infinite source of all good. In gratitude, you find the key to living a life of fullness, peace, and joy. It is the bridge that connects you to the Creator, the lens through which you see His hand in every moment. Through gratitude, you magnify the blessings already given and prepare your heart to receive even more. It is a simple yet powerful practice, a sacred dialogue between you and God that transforms your life from the inside out. To speak and act as God's vessel is to align yourself fully with the divine purpose, becoming a channel through which His love, wisdom, and power flow into the world. It is a conscious choice to surrender your ego and allow your words and actions to reflect the divine will. This is not an act of self-erasure, but of self-realization, a recognition that your truest identity is as a child of God, created to bring His light into the world. When you embrace this truth, you transform not only your life, but also the lives of those around you. Being God's vessel begins with awareness. You must first understand that the divine dwells within you, that you are not separate from God, but a living expression of His presence. This realization shifts how you perceive yourself and your role in the world. You are not here to merely exist or pursue personal gain. You are here to serve as a conduit for God's grace. Every thought you think, every word you speak, and every action you take carries the potential to reflect the Creator's love and wisdom. To speak as God's vessel requires a deep sense of responsibility. Words are powerful. They create, they heal, and they inspire. When you speak with intention and alignment to the divine, your words carry the energy of truth and love. They become instruments of transformation, touching the hearts of others and uplifting their spirits. This is not about preaching or imposing beliefs. It is about speaking from a place of authenticity and compassion, allowing the divine wisdom within you to guide your expression. That every kind word, every moment of encouragement, and every act of truth-telling becomes a testament to God's presence in you. Equally important is acting as God's vessel. Your actions are the tangible expressions of your inner alignment with the divine. When you act with integrity, kindness, and humility, you embody the qualities of the Creator. You become a living example of divine love, showing others what it means to walk in faith and grace. This does not mean you must be perfect. Perfection is not required, only a sincere desire to align your actions with God's will. Even small acts of kindness, performed with genuine love, have the power to create ripples of positivity that extend far beyond what you can see. To live as God's vessel, you must cultivate a connection to Him through prayer, meditation, and reflection. These practices quiet the noise of the world and the ego, allowing you to hear the still, small voice of the divine within. In these moments of commune, you receive guidance and inspiration, clarifying how you are meant to serve. This guidance often comes not as a booming declaration, but as a gentle nudge, a sense of knowing that directs your steps. Trusting this inner wisdom is key to acting as a faithful vessel of God's will. Being a vessel of God's love and light does not mean you will avoid challenges or hardships. In fact, these moments often serve to deepen your reliance on the divine and refine your ability to act in alignment with His will. Trials teach you patience, resilience, and compassion, qualities that strengthen your capacity to serve. They also remind you that you are not acting alone. God is always with you, empowering and sustaining you as you fulfill your purpose. Living as God's vessel also means practicing humility. It is not about seeking recognition or validation for your actions, but about serving with a pure heart. Humility allows you to let go of the need for control, trusting that God's plan is greater than anything you could conceive. It also frees you from the burden of seeking approval, allowing you to focus solely on the work you are called to do. True humility is not about diminishing yourself, it is about recognizing that your power and purpose come from God. As you speak and act as God's vessel, you begin to experience the profound joy and peace that come from living in alignment with the divine. You see the impact of your words and actions, not in terms of worldly success, but in the lives you touch and the love you share. You realize that your life has meaning beyond measure, a sacred role in the unfolding of God's plan. This awareness fills you with gratitude and inspires you to continue walking this path, no matter the challenges. To speak and act as God's vessel is to live with intention, love, and faith. It is to wake each day with the prayer, "Let me be an instrument of your will." It is to see every interaction, every opportunity, and every moment as a chance to bring light into the world. This way of living is not reserved for saints or mystics. It is available to all who choose to align themselves with the divine. In this choice, you discover the true purpose of your life to be a vessel through which God's love and grace flow freely, blessing the world and glorifying His name. God's glory is your inheritance, a divine gift that was bestowed upon you from the moment of your creation. It is not something you must earn, nor is it a reward reserved for the few. It is your birthright as a child of God, a treasure embedded within your very being. To understand and embrace this truth is to awaken to the magnificence of your identity and the boundless potential that resides within you. The concept of inheritance suggests something passed down, something that has always belonged to you by virtue of your relationship with the giver. In this case, the giver is God, the creator of all that exists. He has endowed you with His essence, His light, and His glory. This inheritance is not material wealth, but a spiritual abundance that transcends the physical. It is the power to create, to love, to forgive, and to manifest the highest good in your life and in the lives of others. To claim your inheritance is to step into your divine power. It is to acknowledge that you are co-creator with God, endowed with the ability to shape your reality through your thoughts, beliefs, and actions. This power is not born of arrogance, but of humility, for it comes from the recognition that your strength lies in your connection to the source. When you align yourself with God's will, you tap into the unlimited potential of His glory, allowing it to flow through you and manifest in every aspect of your life. Your inheritance is also a call to responsibility. To carry God's glory is to bear witness to His love and grace. It is to be a light in the world, reflecting His goodness through your words and actions. This does not mean striving for perfection, for God does not require flawlessness. It means living authentically, allowing His glory to shine through your humanity. Every act of kindness, every moment of compassion, and every expression of gratitude becomes a testament to the divine inheritance you carry. God's glory is not something to be hoarded or hidden. It is meant to be shared, to flow through you and touch the lives of others. When you embrace your inheritance, you become a vessel of blessing, a channel through which God's love and power reach the world. This is the essence of living a life of purpose, using your gifts, talents, and resources to serve others and glorify God. In doing so, you fulfill the divine intention for your existence, aligning yourself with the higher plan that governs all things. One of the most profound aspects of your inheritance is the peace that comes with it. God's glory is a source of reassurance, a reminder that you are never alone or forsaken. It is the quiet confidence that no matter what challenges you face, the Creator is with you, working all things for your good. This peace surpasses understanding, for it is not dependent on external circumstances. It is rooted in the eternal truth of your relationship with God, a truth that remains unshaken by the storms of life. To live in the fullness of your inheritance is to let go of fear and limitation. It is to release the false beliefs that tell you you are unworthy, incapable, or separate from God. These illusions only serve to obscure the glory that is already yours. When you surrender these lies and embrace the truth of your divine identity, you step into a freedom that cannot be taken away. You begin to live from a place of abundance, joy, and confidence, knowing that nothing can diminish the glory within you. Gratitude is a key to unlocking the awareness of your inheritance. When you give thanks for the blessings in your life, you align yourself with the frequency of God's glory. Gratitude amplifies your connection to the divine, allowing you to see and experience more of the goodness that surrounds you. It is a practice that transforms your perspective, enabling you to recognize the hand of God in every moment and to celebrate the magnificence of your inheritance. Your inheritance is a reflection of God's love for you. It is a reminder that you are cherished, valued, and deeply connected to the source of all life. To embrace this inheritance is to honor the Creator and to live in alignment with His purpose for you. It is to walk in the light of His glory, radiating His love to the world and fulfilling the divine potential within you. This is your birthright, your gift, and your calling to live as a child of God, bearing His glory and sharing it with all. In conclusion, the essence of all these truths is that your connection to the divine is unwavering and eternal. God's glory is not just a distant ideal, but a living reality within you, shaping your life, your thoughts, and your purpose. When you recognize yourself as God's vessel, embrace gratitude, and surrender to His will, you unlock the infinite power of the divine that resides in your very being. Your faith becomes the foundation for a life that reflects His love, abundance, and peace. Remember, this journey is not about striving for perfection, but about aligning with the truth of who you are, God's creation, blessed and deeply loved. Each step you take in faith, each act of kindness, and each moment of surrender draws you closer to living as the divine intended. Walk forward with courage, knowing that His light shines through you and His power moves with you. Thank you for taking this journey of reflection and exploration. May you carry these truths in your heart, allowing them to guide and inspire you. May your life be a testimony to God's glory and a blessing to all those you encounter. Thank you, and may divine peace and love accompany you always. My friends, I urge you to consider this carefully. Not every plea for help is a call to action. There are those whose cries echo not from true need, but from an unwillingness to claim their inner strength. To extend your hand without discernment is to entangle yourself in their cycle of lack and misalignment. Life is a grand mirror, reflecting back to us not the world as it is, but as we are within. The circumstances, relationships, and experiences that fill our days are merely projections of the state of our consciousness. To truly understand this principle is to unlock the key to transformation, for nothing in your outer world can shift until you first shift within. It is not the actions of others or the randomness of life that shape our experiences, but the assumptions we hold, the beliefs we nurture, and the emotions we entertain. When you encounter someone in need, it is natural to feel the urge to help. Compassion is a noble quality, but it must be tempered with understanding. Not all help is helpful. There are times when assisting another can inadvertently reinforce their limitations rather than liberate them. This is because their struggles are a reflection of their inner state, just as your experiences reflect yours. To intervene without discernment is to become entangled in their reflection, seeing only their lack and not their potential, and in doing so, you risk affirming the very reality they wish to escape. Consider this: if someone views themselves as powerless, they will project a reality that mirrors this belief. They will encounter situations and relationships that reinforce their sense of helplessness. If you step in to solve their problems without addressing the root cause, their own perception, you are merely treating the symptoms of a deeper issue. You may alleviate their immediate discomfort, but you leave their underlying belief intact. Worse still, you may unintentionally validate it, making it harder for them to break free. True assistance begins with awareness. It is not about fixing someone's life for them, but about helping them see the power they already possess. This requires you to rise above the immediate reflection and see beyond the surface. It requires a deeper understanding of how consciousness shapes reality. By maintaining your own alignment with abundance, strength, and clarity, you serve as a mirror of possibility rather than limitation. In your presence, they can begin to perceive a new reflection, one that calls them to rise, not to remain as they are. This is why discernment is crucial. You must ask yourself, am I helping from a place of genuine empowerment, or am I responding to their reflection of lack? To answer this question honestly, you must first examine your own state of consciousness. Are you seeing them as a soul capable of transformation, or as someone who needs rescuing? The way you perceive them will dictate the kind of help you offer and the impact it has. It is also essential to recognize that each person is on their own journey. The struggles they face are not punishments but opportunities for growth. Just as you have learned through challenges and risen through trials, so too must they. To take away their struggle prematurely is to rob them of the lessons their soul has called forth. It is like pulling a butterfly from its cocoon. Before it is ready, the wings remain undeveloped, and the creature cannot fly. There is a delicate balance to be struck here. Compassion does not mean enabling. Love does not mean interfering. Sometimes the greatest gift you can give another is the space to discover their own strength. This does not mean turning a blind eye to suffering or becoming indifferent to the needs of others. It means offering a higher form of help, one that empowers rather than weakens. It means seeing them not as broken, but as whole, even if they cannot yet see it for themselves. The reflection principle teaches us that we are always teaching others by the state of our being. If you wish to inspire someone to rise above their circumstances, you must first rise above your own. You must embody the qualities you wish to see in them: confidence, peace, abundance, so that your reflection serves as a reminder of what is possible. When you do this, you are not imposing your will upon them, but inviting them to step into a higher version of themselves. At times, this may mean withholding direct help, even when asked. This is not an act of cruelty, but of wisdom. It is an acknowledgement that their journey is sacred, and that their struggles are the very soil in which their strength will grow. Trust that the same divine intelligence that guides you also guides them. Trust that they too have access to the infinite power within, and that they will discover it in their own time and way. Life does not happen to us, it happens through us. Every interaction, every encounter, every challenge is a reflection of the state of our inner world. By understanding this, we free ourselves from the illusion of victimhood and step into the role of the Creator. And as creators, we have a responsibility not to fix the reflections of others, but to perfect our own. When you align with truth, love, and abundance, you naturally inspire others to do the same. Your very presence becomes a catalyst for change, not because you force it upon them, but because you show them what is possible. So remember the power of the mirror. When you see lack in another, look first within yourself. When you feel the urge to help, ask whether your help will empower or enable. And when in doubt, hold the vision of their highest potential, trusting that they will rise to meet it. This is the true meaning of assistance, not to change their reflection for them, but to show them that they hold the power to change it themselves. The law of assumption is the foundation upon which reality is built. It declares that whatever you assume to be true, whether consciously or unconsciously, will manifest in your life. It is not the effort you expend or the actions you take that shape your world, but the assumptions you hold deeply within your mind. These assumptions, like seeds planted in fertile soil, grow into the experiences that make up your life. To understand and harness this law is to unlock the power to create your reality deliberately. So, every thought, every belief, every feeling you entertain is an assumption about the nature of life, yourself, and the world around you. If you believe that life is a struggle, that belief will be reflected in your experiences. You will encounter obstacles and hardships, not because life is inherently difficult, but because your assumption demands it. Conversely, if you assume that life is abundant and full of opportunities, you will find evidence of this truth in every corner of your existence. The outer world is nothing more than a mirror reflecting the assumptions you hold within. This is why so many efforts to change our circumstances fail. We focus on the outer effects without addressing the inner cause. We may try to improve our finances by working harder or seeking new opportunities, but if we carry within us the assumption of lack, our efforts will yield little fruit. The outer world cannot change until the inner world does. Action without a change in assumption is like planting seeds in barren soil. It is the assumption, the inner conviction, that determines whether the soil is fertile and whether the seed will grow. To apply the law of assumption, you must first become aware of the assumptions you currently hold. This requires honesty and self-reflection. Ask yourself, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about others? What do I believe about the nature of reality? These beliefs are the assumptions that shape your life. Often they operate beneath the surface of our awareness, yet their influence is profound. They dictate your thoughts, emotions, and actions, and they call forth experiences that confirm their truth. Once you have identified these assumptions, the next step is to replace those that do not serve you with ones that align with the life you desire. This is not a passive process, but an act of deliberate creation. You must consciously choose to assume the reality you wish to experience, even if the evidence around you suggests otherwise. This requires faith and imagination. Faith, because you must trust in the unseen reality of your assumption imagination, because it is through the act of imagining that you begin to feel the truth of your new assumption. Feeling is the secret to making an assumption a reality. It is not enough to simply think about the life you desire. You must feel as though you are already living it. This is because the subconscious mind, which is the creative power behind all manifestation, responds to feelings, not thoughts. When you feel the reality of your assumption, your subconscious accepts it as true and sets about bringing it into your experience. Many struggle with this concept because they are conditioned to believe in the evidence of their senses. They see lack and assume lack. They experience struggle and assume struggle. But the law of assumption teaches us to reverse this process. Do not let your senses dictate your assumptions. Let your assumptions dictate what your senses perceive. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, regardless of outer appearances, and trust that your assumption will harden into fact. This is not a process of force or effort. You do not need to struggle to make your assumption real. The law of assumption operates naturally and effortlessly, just as a seed grows into a plant without strain or toil. Your only task is to nurture your assumption through faith and feeling. Remain steadfast in your belief, and let the creative power of the subconscious do the rest. It is important to remember that the law of assumption works both positively and negatively. If you assume failure, failure will manifest. If you assume rejection, rejection will follow. This is why self-awareness is so vital. You must guard your assumptions and choose them wisely, for they are the architects of your reality. Do not dwell on fear, doubt, or limitation, for these too are assumptions that will shape your world. When you encounter challenges or delays, do not waver in your assumption. The outer world may test your faith, but this is only the reflection of your past assumptions lingering in your reality. Hold fast to your new assumption and trust that it will prevail. The law of assumption is absolute. It cannot fail. It will manifest what you assume to be true, without exception. As you practice this law, you will find that life becomes a dance of creation. No longer will you feel like a victim of circumstance, tossed about by forces beyond your control. You will understand that you are the creator of your reality, and you will take full responsibility for your assumptions. This is the ultimate freedom, for it places the power to shape your life firmly in your hands. Let this truth sink deeply into your being. You are not at the mercy of life. Life is at the mercy of you. Assume the best, and the best will be yours. Assume abundance, and abundance will flow to you. Assume love, and love will surround you. Whatever you desire, assume it boldly and persistently, and it will be yours. The law of assumption is simple but profound, and its power is limitless. Use it wisely, and you will transform your world. Energy is the most valuable currency you possess. Unlike money, which can be earned, saved, or spent, your energy is finite in its daily supply and irreplaceable once depleted. It is the essence of your being, the force that drives your thoughts, emotions, and actions. Every interaction, every choice, every moment of focus is an expenditure of this precious resource. Yet many give it away carelessly, pouring it into people, situations, or habits that drain rather than replenish it. To truly live a life of purpose and abundance, you must treat your energy with the same care and discernment as the most sacred currency. One of the most profound ways to conserve and amplify your energy is by aligning your thoughts and emotions with your desired reality. Negative emotions such as fear, anger, and resentment consume vast amounts of energy, leaving you drained and powerless. Positive emotions such as love, gratitude, and joy, on the other hand, generate energy and elevate your state of being. By focusing your attention on what uplifts you and releasing what weighs you down, you create an inner environment of abundance that naturally attracts more of the same. It is also important to recognize the role of intention in energy transactions. When you give or act with a clear and positive intention, your energy flows purposefully, creating a ripple effect that benefits both you and others. However, when your actions are driven by guilt, obligation, or a desire for approval, your energy becomes fragmented and less effective. Aligning your intentions with your higher self ensures that your energy is used in ways that support your growth and well-being. The concept of energy as currency extends beyond the individual to the collective. Just as your personal energy shapes your experiences, the collective energy of a group shapes its dynamics and outcomes. When you contribute your energy to a cause, a community, or a vision, you become part of a larger flow that has the potential to create profound change. However, just as in personal transactions, it is crucial to ensure that your contribution is aligned with your values and that it supports a greater purpose rather than perpetuating negativity or division. Your energy is your most precious resource because it is the foundation of your existence. Without it, nothing can be achieved or experienced. To value your energy is to value yourself. It is to recognize that you are the source of your own power, and that how you direct your energy determines the quality of your life. By treating your energy as sacred currency, you take responsibility for your well-being and create a life that reflects your highest potential. Be mindful of where you invest your energy and do so with intention and wisdom. Protect it from what drains you, nurture it through what inspires you, and use it to create a reality that resonates with your deepest truth. When you honor your energy, you honor the divine essence within you, and you unlock the limitless possibilities of a life lived in alignment with your highest self. Discernment is one of the most vital skills a person can develop. It is the ability to see beyond surface appearances, to recognize truth amid falsehood, and to make choices aligned with your values and purpose. In a world filled with distractions, misinformation, and competing voices, discernment is your guide, enabling you to navigate life with clarity and confidence. Without it, you risk being swayed by others' agendas, wasting your energy on pursuits that do not serve you, and making decisions that lead you away from your true path. At its core, discernment begins with awareness. It requires you to be fully present, not just physically but mentally and emotionally, so you can observe and assess situations objectively. When you rush through life without pausing to reflect, you often act on impulse or habit rather than deliberate choice. Discernment demands that you slow down and ask the critical questions: what is truly being presented to me? What is the intention behind this? How does this align with my values, goals, and intuition? These questions create a filter through which you can sift what is useful, meaningful, and genuine from what is not. It is not about judging others or situations harshly, but about making empowered decisions that respect your time, energy, and purpose. It allows you to distinguish between opportunities that will enrich your life and distractions that will derail you. Many opportunities may seem appealing on the surface, but carry hidden costs that only discernment can reveal. Whether it's a new relationship, a career move, or even how you spend your free time, discernment helps you evaluate the true value of what is being offered and whether it aligns with your long-term vision. One of the greatest challenges to discernment is the influence of emotions and biases. fear, excitement, or a desire for approval can cloud your judgment, making it difficult to see a situation for what it truly is. Discernment requires emotional intelligence, the ability to recognize and manage your emotions, so they do not overpower your reasoning. When you are emotionally reactive, you are more likely to make decisions based on immediate gratification or avoidance of discomfort, rather than on thoughtful consideration. Cultivating discernment means learning to pause, step back, and observe your emotions without letting them dictate your actions. Another aspect of discernment is the ability to recognize the motivations of others. Not everyone who offers advice or guidance has your best interests at heart. Some may act out of self-interest, manipulation, or ignorance. Discernment allows you to see through the words and actions of others to understand their true intentions. This does not mean approaching life with cynicism or mistrust, but with a healthy sense of awareness. By understanding the motives behind what others say or do, you can make choices that protect your boundaries and align with your values. Discernment also plays a crucial role in how you consume information. In an age where information is abundant but often unreliable, the ability to evaluate sources critically is more important than ever. Discernment helps you separate fact from opinion, truth from propaganda, and wisdom from noise. It encourages you to seek knowledge from reputable and diverse sources, question what you hear, and think independently. This not only protects you from being misled, but also empowers you to form your own informed perspectives. It requires effort and practice. It is not an innate ability, but a skill that develops over time through experience and intentionality. Mistakes are an inevitable part of the learning process, but each misstep offers an opportunity to refine your judgment and grow wiser. The key is to approach life with curiosity and openness, while remaining grounded in your values and intuition. Trust that discernment, like any skill, will strengthen with consistent use. One of the most rewarding aspects of discernment is the sense of empowerment it brings. When you make decisions from a place of clarity and alignment, you feel confident and at peace with your choices. You are no longer swayed by external pressures or paralyzed by indecision. Instead, you move through life with a sense of purpose, knowing that your actions are guided by wisdom and integrity. Discernment also fosters deeper connections with others. When you approach relationships with clarity and awareness, you can see and appreciate people for who they truly are. You recognize the relationships that nurture and inspire you, and you have the strength to release those that drain or hinder you. Discernment allows you to build authentic connections based on mutual respect and understanding. Discernment is a cornerstone of personal growth and self-mastery. It is the compass that keeps you aligned with your true self amid the noise and chaos of the world. By cultivating discernment, you take ownership of your life, make choices that honor your values, and create a reality that reflects your highest potential. It is not always easy, but it is always worth the effort. The more you practice discernment, the more you realize its transformative power, and the more your life becomes a reflection of your deepest wisdom and truth. Inner responsibility is the recognition that your life, in all its aspects, is a direct reflection of your internal state. It is the understanding that your thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and actions are the architects of your reality. Instead of placing blame on external circumstances or other people for what happens to you, inner responsibility invites you to look within, take ownership of your experiences, and embrace the power you hold to transform your life from the inside out. Taking inner responsibility means accepting that you are the creator of your experiences. This does not imply that you have control over everything that happens, but it does mean that your interpretation of events, your emotional responses, and your subsequent actions are entirely within your power. Life may present challenges, setbacks, and even pain, but how you choose to perceive and navigate these moments determines their impact on your journey. Inner responsibility shifts your focus from being a victim of circumstances to being an empowered participant in your own story. This form of responsibility begins with awareness. You must first become conscious of the patterns in your life, patterns of thought, emotion, and behavior that perpetuate your current circumstances. Many people live on autopilot, reacting to life based on ingrained habits and beliefs without questioning their validity. Inner responsibility requires you to pause and examine these patterns with honesty and self-compassion. Are your thoughts rooted in fear or faith? Do your actions reflect your highest values or societal conditioning? By becoming aware of these dynamics, you reclaim the ability to choose differently. An essential aspect of inner responsibility is the acknowledgement of your emotions. It is easy to blame others or external events for how you feel, but the truth is that your emotions are generated within you. While external triggers may provoke a response, the interpretation and meaning you assign to those triggers are what determine your emotional state. Taking inner responsibility involves owning your feelings without projecting them onto others. It means recognizing that no one else can make you feel a certain way unless you allow it. This ownership creates the freedom to process emotions constructively, learn from them, and ultimately transform them into growth and resilience. Inner responsibility also extends to your actions. Every choice you make is a reflection of your inner state and priorities. When you take responsibility for your actions, you stop blaming external factors for your behavior. For instance, if you consistently procrastinate or avoid challenges, it is not because of the circumstances around you, but because of an internal resistance or fear. Acknowledging this empowers you to address the root cause rather than merely addressing the symptom. Through this process, you build integrity and align your actions with your goals and values. Taking inner responsibility is not about self-blame or guilt. It is not about berating yourself for past mistakes or perceived shortcomings. Instead, it is a practice of self-empowerment and self-awareness. Blame focuses on the problem, responsibility focuses on the solution. By shifting from blame to responsibility, you free yourself from the paralysis of guilt and step into the creative power of choice. Each moment becomes an opportunity to redirect your energy, make new decisions, and create a different outcome. The ultimate gift of inner responsibility is freedom. When you take ownership of your inner world, you are no longer at the mercy of external circumstances. You become the master of your own destiny, capable of creating a life that reflects your deepest desires and highest values. This freedom is not about controlling everything around you, but about mastering your internal state, so that you can respond to life with wisdom, grace, and confidence. In embracing inner responsibility, you step into your power as a creator. You recognize that your thoughts shape your reality, your emotions color your experiences, and your actions determine your path. By taking ownership of these elements, you reclaim your sovereignty and unlock the limitless potential within you. Life may still bring challenges, but with inner responsibility, you meet them with strength and purpose, knowing that the power to shape your reality lies within you. There exists an invisible cord that connects all things, a web of energy, intention, and consciousness that binds the seen and the unseen. This cord is not tangible, yet its influence is undeniable. It weaves through our lives, linking our thoughts, emotions, and actions to the experiences we attract. To understand this invisible cord is to unlock a profound truth: everything is connected, and nothing happens in isolation. At its essence, this cord is the energy of consciousness. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, and every intention you set emits a vibration that extends outward into this unseen network. Like a ripple in water, your inner state affects the world around you, influencing circumstances, relationships, and opportunities. The invisible cord ensures that what you project into this web returns to you, often magnified. This is not a matter of chance, but a reflection of the energy you contribute to the interconnected whole. One of the most profound aspects of the invisible cord is its responsiveness to intention. Intention acts as a beacon, sending a clear signal into this vast network. When your intentions are rooted in clarity and belief, they resonate powerfully, attracting corresponding experiences into your life. This is why alignment is crucial. If your intentions are scattered or contradicted by doubt and fear, the signal you send becomes weak, and the results you receive may seem chaotic or mismatched. The invisible cord responds not just to what you desire, but to the energy with which you hold that desire. The cord also connects you to others, often in ways that are subtle but deeply influential. Every interaction you have with another person leaves an imprint in this energetic web. Whether positive or negative, the energy exchange between you and others forms invisible threads that influence your relationship dynamics. This is why you can sometimes feel a person's presence or emotional state even when they are not physically near. The connection through this invisible cord transcends physical boundaries, illustrating the profound interconnectedness of all beings. Your relationships, then, are reflections of the energy you carry within. If you approach others with love, understanding, and authenticity, you strengthen the positive threads of this invisible cord, fostering harmony and mutual growth. Conversely, when relationships are marked by conflict, fear, or manipulation, the cord becomes tangled, creating tension and discord. Recognizing your role in these connections empowers you to shift the energy you contribute, thereby transforming the quality of your interactions. The invisible cord also explains the phenomenon of synchronicity, those moments when seemingly unrelated events align in ways that feel purposeful or meaningful. Synchronicity is not a coincidence but a testament to the interconnectedness of all things. When your inner state aligns with the greater flow of this invisible web, you begin to attract experiences that resonate with your energy and intentions. These moments are reminders that the universe is constantly responding to the vibrations you emit, guiding you toward paths of growth and fulfillment. This connection extends beyond people and events to the natural world and the cosmos itself. The invisible cord binds you to the rhythms of nature, the cycles of the seasons, and the movement of the stars. When you feel drawn to the serenity of a forest or the vastness of the ocean, it is because you are attuned to this universal connection. Nature reflects the balance and harmony inherent in the invisible cord, reminding you of the importance of aligning your inner world with the greater whole. Understanding the invisible cord also reveals the importance of mindfulness. Since every thought, emotion, and action contributes to this web, it is essential to cultivate awareness of what you are sending into it. If negative patterns such as anger, resentment, or fear create disharmony in the cord, attracting experiences that mirror those energies. Conversely, practicing gratitude, compassion, and faith strengthens the positive threads, drawing abundance, joy, and peace into your life. The invisible cord teaches you that separation is an illusion. While it may appear that you are an isolated individual, distinct from others and the world around you, this cord reminds you that you are part of a greater whole. Your actions affect not only your immediate surroundings but also the broader web of existence. This awareness fosters a sense of responsibility and interconnectedness, urging you to live in harmony with yourself, others, and the universe. Embracing this truth requires trust in the unseen. The invisible cord cannot be measured or observed directly, yet its effects are unmistakable. Trusting in its presence means believing in the power of your thoughts, intentions, and energy to shape your reality. It means recognizing that the challenges and opportunities you encounter are not random but arise from the vibrations you send into this interconnected web. To live in alignment with the invisible cord is to honor the flow of life itself. It is to recognize that you are both a creator and a participant in this vast network, capable of influencing and being influenced by its energy. When you align your inner world with love, clarity, and purpose, the cord responds by bringing harmony and abundance into your life. This is not magic but the natural result of living in harmony with the universal laws that govern existence. The invisible cord is a reminder of your infinite potential. It connects you to every possibility, every person, and every experience you could ever imagine. By taking responsibility for the energy you contribute, you harness the power of this connection to create a life that reflects your highest aspirations. Trust in the cord, nurture it with intention and love, and watch as it weaves a reality that mirrors the beauty and power within you. Awareness is the foundation of transformation and the gateway to a deeper understanding of life and self. It is more than just a momentary realization. It is the continuous state of being fully present, observing without judgment, and understanding the underlying patterns and truths that govern your experiences. Awareness is not something external that you acquire, but an innate quality that you awaken. Its role in your life is profound, as it holds the key to shifting your perceptions, mastering your emotions, and aligning with your true purpose. To be aware is to notice not only what happens around you, but also what transpires within you. Most people move through life on autopilot, guided by habitual thoughts and unconscious reactions. They become entangled in routines, unaware of the beliefs and assumptions that shape their decisions. Awareness breaks this cycle. It shines a light on the unseen forces that influence your thoughts, emotions, and actions, allowing you to discern whether they serve your highest good. By bringing these patterns into consciousness, awareness empowers you to choose differently, creating new pathways and possibilities. At its core, awareness is a practice of presence. It invites you to anchor yourself in the current moment, the only place where life truly unfolds. The mind often drifts to the past, replaying memories or projects into the future, creating scenarios that may never come to pass. This tendency to live outside the present moment breeds anxiety, regret, and dissatisfaction. Awareness draws you back to now, where clarity resides. In the present, you can observe without the distortions of fear or attachment, responding to life with wisdom rather than reacting impulsively. Awareness is also the bridge between your inner and outer worlds. Your external reality is a reflection of your inner state, and through awareness you can perceive this connection with clarity. For example, if you notice recurring challenges in your relationships, awareness helps you trace these patterns back to their roots within you. Are they born of fear, insecurity, or unhealed wounds? Awareness does not judge these findings but observes them with compassion, offering the opportunity for growth and healing. By addressing the source within, you transform the reflection without. In the realm of emotions, awareness plays a critical role in mastery and liberation. Many people are ruled by their emotions, swept away by waves of anger, sadness, or fear without understanding their origin. Awareness allows you to step back and observe these emotions as they arise, recognizing them as temporary states rather than permanent truths. This detachment does not mean suppression but acknowledgement. By naming and observing an emotion without identifying with it, you create space for it to pass, freeing yourself from its grip. Over time, this practice cultivates emotional resilience and balance. Awareness also unveils the power of thought. Thoughts are not random but arise from deeply held beliefs and perceptions. They carry energy and influence, shaping how you view yourself and the world. Without awareness, these thoughts run unchecked, creating self-fulfilling prophecies and reinforcing limiting beliefs. With awareness, you can examine your thoughts and discern their truth. Are they aligned with your goals and values, or are they remnants of fear or doubt? By consciously choosing empowering thoughts, you reshape your reality, directing your life toward fulfillment and success. In the context of relationships, awareness deepens connection and understanding. It helps you see beyond surface interactions to the underlying needs, desires, and fears that drive behavior, both yours and others. Instead of reacting defensively or making assumptions, awareness fosters empathy and communication. You begin to recognize the shared humanity in others, reducing conflict and building bridges of trust and compassion. Awareness also helps you set healthy boundaries, ensuring that your relationships honor your values and well-being. Awareness extends beyond the personal realm to encompass the larger tapestry of life. It reveals the interconnectedness of all things, reminding you that your actions, thoughts, and energy ripple out into the world. This understanding inspires a sense of responsibility and mindfulness in how you engage with others and the environment. You realize that your choices matter, not only to your life but to the collective experience of humanity. Awareness thus becomes a catalyst for living with purpose and integrity. Practicing awareness requires commitment and patience. It is not a destination but a journey, one that unfolds moment by moment. Meditation, mindfulness practices, and self-reflection are powerful tools for cultivating awareness. These practices train you to observe without judgment, to notice the subtle shifts in your thoughts and emotions, and to remain present even in the face of discomfort. Over time, awareness becomes second nature, a lens through which you view and engage with life. The transformative power of awareness lies in its ability to dissolve illusions. Many of the struggles and limitations you face are born of misperceptions and false identifications. You believe you are separate, powerless, or defined by your circumstances, but awareness shows you otherwise. It reveals your true nature as a creator, capable of shaping your life through conscious choice and intention. It reminds you that you are not your thoughts, emotions, or experiences, but the observer of them, infinite and unchanging. Awareness is the key to freedom. It frees you from the chains of unconscious patterns, the weight of past regrets, and the anxiety of future uncertainties. It empowers you to live authentically, guided by clarity and purpose. As you deepen your awareness, you align with the flow of life, discovering that everything you seek, peace, joy, and fulfillment, already exists within you. Through awareness, you become not just a participant in life, but a master of it, co-creating your reality with wisdom and grace. The first step in preserving your alignment is awareness. Without awareness, it is easy to become distracted by the noise of the world, expectations, opinions, and demands that pull you in multiple directions. When you lose sight of your center, you become reactive, allowing external circumstances to dictate your mood, decisions, and energy. Awareness grounds you, allowing you to observe these distractions without becoming consumed by them. It is a reminder to return to your inner compass, the guiding force that aligns you with your truest self. To maintain alignment, it is essential to guard your thoughts and emotions. Your thoughts are the seeds of your reality. They shape your beliefs and actions. Negative or limiting thoughts can create resistance, pulling you out of alignment. Similarly, emotions such as fear, anger, or doubt can cloud your perspective, causing you to act from a place of disconnection. Preserving alignment requires that you become a diligent observer of your mental and emotional landscape. When you notice thoughts or feelings that do not serve your highest good, you have the power to shift them. This does not mean ignoring or suppressing them, but choosing to focus on those that uplift and inspire you. Boundaries are another crucial aspect of preserving alignment. Your energy is precious, and not everyone or everything deserves access to it. Without boundaries, you risk becoming entangled in situations or relationships that drain you, leaving little room for self-nurturing and growth. Setting boundaries is not about building walls. It is about creating space for what aligns with your values and purpose. It is an act of self-respect, ensuring that your time, energy, and attention are directed toward what truly matters. Another key to preserving alignment is honoring your body, mind, and spirit. Your physical health impacts your mental clarity and emotional stability. Eating nourishing foods, engaging in regular movement, and getting sufficient rest create a strong foundation for alignment. Similarly, practices that nurture your mind and spirit, such as meditation, journaling, or time in nature, strengthen your connection to your inner self. When you neglect these aspects of your well-being, you may find it harder to stay aligned, as imbalance in one area often affects the others. Alignment also requires trust in yourself, in the universe, and in the unfolding of your journey. There will be times when circumstances seem to test your patience and faith. You may question whether you are on the right path or feel tempted to force outcomes. In these moments, preserving alignment means surrendering to the process and remembering that everything is unfolding as it should. Trust allows you to release the need for control and remain anchored in the present, knowing that your intentions and energy are guiding you toward your highest good. Practicing gratitude is another powerful way to maintain alignment. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, reminding you of the blessings and opportunities in your life. It raises your vibration, aligning you with the energy of love, joy, and prosperity. When you express gratitude, you strengthen your connection to the universal flow, attracting more of what resonates with your highest self. Gratitude is not just an occasional practice, but a daily habit that keeps you centered and aligned. In conclusion, alignment is the sacred thread that weaves together your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the essence of who you truly are. Preserving it requires consistent self-awareness, intentional boundaries, and a deep commitment to honoring your authenticity. It is about living in harmony with your inner truth, trusting the unfolding of your journey, and remaining steadfast in your purpose, even amidst challenges. Alignment is not just a state of being, it is the key to creating a life of peace, joy, and fulfillment. Thank you for taking this journey inward, for reflecting on the power of alignment, and for committing to nurturing this sacred connection. May you walk your path with clarity, grace, and unwavering faith in the infinite possibilities that lie ahead. Thank you. Thank you.
There is a stirring within you, a quiet assurance that what you have long imagined, what you have held in the silence of your heart, is not far away. The blessing you have prayed for, affirmed, and believed in is already moving into form. Yet before it fully arrives, there are signals, subtle but undeniable, that whisper, "You are closer than you realize." The first sign is a feeling of inner calm. Suddenly, you are no longer restless. Even if the outer world appears unchanged, inside you carry a stillness, as if the outcome has already been secured. This peace is the echo of fulfillment, a sign that your desire is already taking root in unseen realms. The second sign is unexplainable joy, a joy that rises for no apparent reason, a smile that comes before the evidence. This joy is not tied to the senses. It is the spirit announcing that your blessing has already arrived and your body is simply catching up. The third sign is a shift in perspective. What once felt like resistance now reveals itself as guidance. The delay you once cursed now appears as divine timing. You begin to understand that every so-called obstacle was secretly preparing you for the gift you're about to hold. The fourth sign is the multiplication of synchronicities. Suddenly, you meet the right people, hear the right words, or see symbols that mirror your desire everywhere you go. These are not accidents. They are confirmations, gentle reminders that the unseen is becoming seen. The fifth sign is the fading of desire into knowing. You no longer beg or chase after what you want. Instead, you rest in the conviction that is already yours. You stop checking the clock because you understand eternity is already working for you. The sixth sign is the reflection of the world. Your conversations, your surroundings, your encounters, all begin to echo the state you've entered within. Life becomes a mirror showing you fragments of the blessing before it fully blossoms. The seventh sign is the deep gratitude that anchors you. Gratitude not for what is coming, but for what already is. In that thankfulness, you seal the blessing. You no longer stand as one waiting. You stand as one receiving. So if you have seen these signs, peace, joy, shifts, synchronicities, certainty, reflections, and gratitude, know this: your blessing is not on the way. It is here, closer than breath, waiting only for your acknowledgement. And as you live in that recognition, it must reveal itself, because the unseen cannot remain hidden when you have already embraced it within. There comes a moment on the path of desire when, after days or perhaps years of longing, striving, or questioning, a curious shift occurs within. It is subtle but undeniable. The mind grows quiet, the restlessness subsides, and in its place there settles a sense of calm so deep it almost surprises you. And now let me introduce, nothing in the outer world may have changed. Your circumstances may still look the same. Your bank account may not yet reflect the abundance you've been envisioning. The relationship you desire may not yet have appeared, but inwardly, something has shifted. This inner calm is not a passive resignation, nor is it indifference. It is the peace that comes from knowing. This calm is the first whisper that your blessing has already drawn near. You no longer feel the frantic need to make things happen or push circumstances into alignment. Instead, you rest in a trust that cannot be explained logically. It is as if your heart has caught a glimpse of a future already written, and it leans back in quiet assurance. People around you may notice the change, perhaps commenting that you seem lighter, more at ease, or unusually serene. What they are witnessing is not merely a mood, but a shift of state. You have entered into alignment with your answered prayer. The beauty of this calm is that it is unshaken by appearances. Even when the external world tempts you to worry, you find yourself anchored in a different reality. It is not that challenges vanish overnight, but that their grip on your emotions loosens. You stop reacting with fear or desperation and instead respond with composure, almost as though you already hold the outcome in your hands. This serenity is not something you force. It arrives when you have truly accepted that what you desire is already yours. Think of it like the hush that falls after planting a seed. At first, there is activity, digging, watering, preparing the soil, but once the seed is buried, there is nothing more to do except trust the process. The farmer does not hover in anxiety, pulling up the earth each day to see if the seed has sprouted. He walks away in peace, knowing growth is taking place where the eye cannot see. In the same way, when the calm comes upon you, it is evidence that you have released the struggle and entrusted your desire to the unseen forces, already shaping it into form. This inner stillness is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is the quiet hum of abundance before it bursts into song, the silence before the curtain lifts. It is a state where you no longer bargain with life, but welcome it. And in that welcoming, doors open, paths clear, and blessings that once seemed far off step into the present. The calm, therefore, is not just a feeling, it is a sign. It signals that your blessing is not only approaching, but is already here, waiting for you to rest deeply enough to receive it. There are moments when joy rises from a place so deep within that it defies explanation. You might be walking through an ordinary day, nothing extraordinary taking place, yet suddenly a smile spreads across your face, a warmth floods your chest, and a lightness fills your spirit. There is no logical cause for this happiness, no good news received, no external gift handed to you, no situation resolved. It is as if something within you has already caught sight of the blessing you are moving toward, and it cannot help but rejoice ahead of time. This unexplainable joy is one of the clearest signs that your big blessing is closer than you think. It is not manufactured by effort, nor can it be summoned on command. Rather, it arrives like sunlight breaking through clouds, a natural overflow of the unseen becoming felt. It is the soul's way of telling you that fulfillment is already yours, even if your senses have yet to register it. This joy is not fragile. It does not depend on circumstances behaving as you want them to. Instead, it wells up from the deep assurance that the universe has already answered. When you are in this state, you notice how different it feels from fleeting pleasure. Pleasure is often tied to conditions, an achievement, a purchase, a compliment. Joy, however, is free of conditions. It arises without cause, and therefore cannot be taken away by cause. You find yourself humming to songs you haven't heard in years, feeling grateful for simple things like sunlight on your skin or the quiet of your room. You catch yourself laughing at nothing in particular, and for a moment you wonder if you've gone mad. But this madness is divine. It is evidence that your inner self has already celebrated what your outer self is about to receive. Joy of this kind often appears just before a major breakthrough because it is a state of alignment. When the mind no longer doubts, when the heart no longer grasps, when the soul is anchored in trust, joy naturally overflows. It does not ask for permission. It does not check whether circumstances have shifted. It simply celebrates because it knows the shift has already happened in the unseen and the outer world is catching up. Consider a child waiting for a birthday gift. Long before the wrapping paper is torn away, the child is already filled with excitement and happiness. The gift is not in their hands yet, but their joy reveals their certainty that it is coming. In much the same way, when you experience unexplainable joy, it is because deep down you are no longer waiting, you are receiving. You may not see it with your eyes, but your spirit has touched it, and it overflows into your body as laughter, smiles, and lightness. So when happiness wells up within you without cause, don't dismiss it. Don't question it or search for reasons. Instead, recognize it for what it is, a sign. The blessing you have long carried in your heart has already been birthed in the unseen, and your soul is rejoicing in advance. The joy that feels mysterious today will soon reveal its reason when your desire takes form before you. There comes a turning point on the path to manifestation when your eyes no longer see as they once did. The very circumstances that once frustrated you, the delays that once felt like denial, the detours that once seemed to block your way, suddenly they take on new meaning. What once appeared as obstacles now begin to shine as stepping stones. It is not that the events themselves have changed, but that your perspective has shifted. You now see them as part of a larger orchestration, each one guiding you closer to the blessing you seek. This shift in perspective is one of the most powerful signs that your blessing is near. Before the shift, the mind resists, asking why things are taking so long, why doors seem to close, why efforts appear fruitless. But after the shift, the same mind relaxes into understanding. The closed door was not a punishment, it was redirection. The delay was not neglect, it was preparation. The difficulty was not failure, it was shaping you for what you asked for. With this new lens, the entire narrative of your journey transforms. Think of the sculptor working on a block of stone. To the untrained eye, the chiseling away seems destructive, wasteful, even painful. But the sculptor knows every strike is revealing the figure hidden within. So too in your life, the moments that felt like loss were simply carving away what no longer belonged, shaping the space where your blessing could fit perfectly. From this perspective, you no longer curse the chisel, you bless it because you see what it is producing. This shift is not forced by effort, it happens naturally as your faith deepens. It is as if the inner eye opens wider, allowing you to perceive meaning in places you once overlooked. You may recall conversations that seemed unimportant, but actually planted seeds of wisdom. You may recognize how a detour introduced you to people or opportunities you would never have encountered otherwise. What once felt random now reveals itself as precise. The puzzle pieces begin to align, and you realize nothing was wasted. Such clarity brings with it both humility and gratitude. You begin to thank the very moments you once despised, because you see how they carried you to this place. Resentment dissolves, and in its place grows reverence for the process. You stop asking, "Why me?" and start affirming, "Of course me." Life no longer feels like a series of battles, but like a carefully designed journey unfolding with perfect timing. This perspective shift does more than comfort you, it accelerates your blessing. For when you stop resisting and start embracing the journey, you align yourself with the very energy of fulfillment. Instead of struggling against the current, you flow with it. The blessing you once tried to force your way toward now rushes toward you, because you have finally stepped into harmony with its path. So when your vision changes and obstacles begin to look like stepping stones, recognize the sign. It is proof that your inner self has matured into readiness. What you once feared is now fuel. What you once resisted is now revelation. And in that revelation, the blessing you longed for is no longer far away. It is just around the corner, waiting to be embraced. There is a mysterious language that life speaks when you are nearing the fulfillment of your desire. It does not use words in the ordinary sense, but it communicates through patterns, alignments, and what the world calls coincidences. You might think of someone, and moments later they call you. You may overhear a conversation from strangers that speaks directly to the situation you've been contemplating. A book falls from a shelf, and its message answers a question you held in silence. These synchronicities are not random accidents. They are signposts guiding you gently to the realization that your blessing is closer than you think. When synchronicities begin to multiply, it is as though the universe is weaving threads of meaning all around you. Each encounter, each repeated symbol, each unexpected alignment whispers that the unseen is becoming visible. To the casual observer, these may seem like mere chance, but to you they are undeniable confirmations. They are the reflection of your inner state projected onto the outer world. The alignment within you has reached such strength that the outer world cannot help but mirror it back in playful, mysterious ways. This multiplication of synchronicities often begins subtly. Perhaps you see a number sequence that repeats throughout your day on clocks, receipts, or license plates. At first you brush it aside, but as it continues, as the pattern grows undeniable, you realize something deeper is taking place. Life is showing you that you are in rhythm with your desire. It is not a matter of luck, but of resonance. You are tuned so precisely to the state of fulfillment that the world around you vibrates in harmony. What makes these moments so powerful is not only their strangeness, but the effect they have on your heart. Each synchronicity brings a surge of reassurance, a reminder that you are not alone in your journey. The mind may doubt, but the heart knows. These signs are evidence that what you carry within is already forming without. The alignments reveal that the blessing has moved from possibility into inevitability. Think of a traveler nearing home. Long before they reach their door, they begin to see familiar landmarks. The tree on the corner, the curve of the road, the lights of the neighborhood. These do not create the destination. They simply reveal how close it is. Synchronicities work in the same way. They do not create the blessing. They signal that you are approaching its manifestation. They reassure you that you are on the right path. and the destination is just ahead. As synchronicities multiply, you develop a new awareness. You no longer dismiss the subtle nudges of life. Instead, you honor them as guidance. A chance encounter may hold the very key you were seeking. A repeated phrase may carry the message your soul was waiting to hear. In this state, every detail of life feels infused with meaning, and you walk with greater trust. So when coincidences begin to surround you, do not call them chance, call them confirmations. They are the universe's way of smiling at you, assuring you that your blessing is aligned, near, and inevitable. Each sign is an echo of fulfillment, and the more they appear, the clearer it becomes. You are closer than ever to receiving what you have already embraced within. There is a moment on the journey of creation when desire undergoes a sacred transformation. At first, the longing burns brightly. You think of your blessing day and night. You affirm it, you visualize it, you reach for it with eagerness. The desire feels like fire, sometimes exhilarating, sometimes exhausting. Yet, as you continue to dwell in the reality of its fulfillment, something profound happens. The fire softens into a steady light. You no longer crave or chase what you want. Instead, you rest in the quiet certainty that it is already yours. This is the moment when desire fades into knowing. It feels as though you have placed your order with life, and now you are simply waiting for delivery, not with anxiety, but with quiet expectation. The fading of desire is not the death of it, but the completion of it. When you first longed for your blessing, you stood outside of it, yearning for what seemed distant, but by persisting in imagination and faith, you stepped into its reality inwardly. Over time, the gap between you and the desire closed, until there was no separation left. You are no longer someone reaching toward it. You are someone who has it already. The desire has fulfilled itself in consciousness, and now what remains is knowing. This knowing has a unique quality. It is not boastful or loud. It does not shout to the world, "I have it." Instead, it is quiet, steady, and unshakable. It feels as natural as breathing. Just as you do not wake each morning and wonder whether the sun will rise, you do not question whether your blessing will appear. You know. And because you know, you no longer waste energy in restlessness. You begin to enjoy the present moment again, no longer waiting for life to begin once the blessing arrives. This stage is often misunderstood. Some mistake the fading of desire for indifference or giving up. But it is not surrender to lack. It is surrender to fullness. It is a recognition that what you once sought outside has already been embraced within. From this place, the outer manifestation becomes inevitable, because the inner state is already complete. Life cannot withhold what you have already accepted as real. Imagine a bride preparing for her wedding day. Long before she stands at the altar, she feels the certainty of the union. She no longer wonders whether it will happen. She begins to live as though it is already hers. The excitement is there, but the anxiety is gone. The outcome is assured. That is the essence of desire fading into knowing. When you find yourself no longer craving, no longer chasing, but simply resting in quiet certainty, recognize it as a sign. Your blessing is no longer something you hope for, it is something you already hold. And soon enough, the outer world will reflect what your inner world has already embraced. As the inner world shifts, the outer world cannot help but follow. Life has always been a mirror, reflecting back to you the state you carry within. When you were restless, you met delays. When you doubted, you found reasons to question. When you felt lack, you saw lack. But once you move into alignment, Once peace, joy, and certainty have taken root within, you begin to notice small but undeniable changes in your daily life. The world starts reflecting back what you already know inside. These reflections may seem subtle at first, yet they serve as powerful confirmations that your blessing is near. Perhaps you hear conversations that echo the very truths you have been holding in your heart. A stranger may casually mention the very thing you've been affirming in silence. You might notice that opportunities arise in areas where doors were once closed, or that people treat you in ways that match your newfound sense of worth and confidence. These are not coincidences. They are mirrors. The energy you have cultivated inwardly is radiating outward, drawing experiences that match it. The reflections often appear in small ways before they show up in big ways. A simple compliment may confirm the beauty you've begun to feel within yourself. An unexpected discount may affirm the abundance you've been dwelling on in imagination. A chance encounter may reflect the love you've already embraced in consciousness. Each small echo in the world is evidence that the shift has happened at the core, and now the outer picture is adjusting to align with it. This process is much like planting a seed. Long before the tree grows tall, tiny sprouts break through the soil, giving you the first signs of life. They may be small compared to what is coming, but they are undeniable evidence that growth is taking place. In the same way, the small reflections you see in daily life are sprouts of your blessing, whispering that the harvest is near. The beauty of this stage is that it deepens your trust. You no longer feel as though your faith is blind. You begin to see traces of it all around you. The world itself seems to participate in your vision, cooperating with the state you have chosen to dwell in. This makes you walk lighter, smile easier, and live with greater assurance, because you see how faithfully life mirrors back the inner shift. It is important not to dismiss these reflections as too small or not enough. They are forerunners, signs that the larger blessing is inevitable. Celebrate them, acknowledge them, and let them strengthen your conviction. For every reflection is proof that what you have embodied is now undeniable. When you notice the world echoing your inner state, when kindness, abundance, opportunity, and beauty begin to appear in ways they never did before, take it as confirmation. The blessing you once carried only in imagination has already imprinted itself on the world around you. And as these reflections multiply, they are guiding you into the full manifestation of what you already know within. The blessing is not just on its way, it is here, unfolding before your eyes. Every sign along the way, peace rising within you, joy that cannot be explained, obstacles turning into stepping stones, synchronicities weaving their patterns, desire maturing into knowing, the world mirroring back your state, and gratitude anchoring it all, has been pointing to one truth. Your blessing is not far away, it is already here. These signals are not accidents, they are assurances. They reveal that the shift has already taken place within you, and what has been embraced in consciousness must inevitably clothe itself in form. The journey was never about waiting for life to give you something new. It was about awakening to the reality that you already carry it. Each sign is an invitation to stop searching, to stop striving, and to rest in the certainty of fulfillment. When you recognize them, you no longer walk as one who hopes, you walk as one who receives. And as you live from that place of receiving, life has no choice but to reveal what you have already known to be yours. So as you reflect on these 7 signs, let them remind you of your own power, your own alignment, and your own readiness. The big blessing you have long desired is not a distant dream. It is your present reality unfolding moment by moment. Remain open, remain steady, and remain grateful. For the evidence is clear, you are closer than you think. There comes a moment in every soul's journey when life begins to whisper, it's happening now. The shift you've been waiting for, the alignment, the breakthrough, the evidence, it's not approaching. It has already begun. Reality is not something outside of you that must be persuaded. It is the reflection of what you believe to be true in the quiet chambers of your imagination. The world has always been your mirror, showing you the images you have impressed upon your own mind. And now, that mirror is turning in your favor. You are not a passive observer in this universe, you are the one shaping it, moment by moment, through your inner state. Every time you dare to assume that life is working for you, every time you choose faith over fear, the universe rearranges itself to match that assumption. The shift is not in the world, it is in you. It is the movement of your awareness from lack to fulfillment, from waiting to knowing, from hoping to being. Right now, the tide of reality is moving in harmony with your inner conviction. Doors you thought were closed are quietly unlocking. People and opportunities are being magnetized to your new frequency of belief. The invisible is organizing itself to make visible what you have already accepted as true. So stop waiting for proof, become it. Stop chasing signs, be the sign. When you walk in the awareness that life is favoring you, reality has no choice but to follow that command. You are standing at the threshold of a new dimension of being. The shift is here, and it is responding to the version of you who dares to know rather than merely wish. So breathe deeply. Assume the feeling that all is already working in your favor, because it is. Reality is not resisting you anymore. It's celebrating your awakening. The shift has begun, and reality itself is now favoring you. Everything you experience in the outer world is a mirror reflecting the inner landscape of your consciousness. Life is not something happening to you, it is something happening through you. The world you perceive, the people you meet, the events that unfold, the circumstances that appear, all arise from the vibration, the belief, and the assumption that you hold within. Every scene in your external life is a projection of an invisible inner state that you have accepted as true, whether consciously or unconsciously. When you truly grasp this, you begin to understand that you are never a victim of life, you are its author. The outer world has no life of its own, it merely echoes what has been impressed upon it by the inner world of imagination. Change the inner, and the outer must follow, just as the reflection in the mirror cannot smile before you do. Reality cannot shift before your consciousness does. The moment you alter your inner self-concept, life begins to rearrange itself to match the new state you occupy. Most people try to fix life from the outside, changing jobs, relationships, locations, but they carry the same inner state wherever they go, and so the same patterns reappear, though the faces and settings may change. The key is not to fight the reflection, but to transform the source of the reflection. When you begin to live from a higher state, from confidence, peace, love, or abundance, those qualities begin to shape the events that surround you. Imagine standing before a mirror and trying to change your reflection without moving yourself. It would be absurd. Yet that is what most people do every day when they try to force the external world to change while remaining inwardly the same. The truth is simple but profound. The outer world is obedient to your inner assumption. Reality rearranges itself, not to your words, but to your state of being. When you hold a feeling of gratitude, the world shows you more reasons to be grateful. When you carry a state of lack, even abundance seems to slip through your fingers. The world doesn't judge, it reflects. It doesn't decide for you, it responds to you. The moment you assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled, when you inwardly accept that you already are what you desire to be, the universe begins its silent work of rearranging circumstances to make that state visible. So if you wish to see kindness, become kind. If you wish to experience love, dwell in the feeling of being loved. If you desire success, assume the identity of someone already successful. The mirror of life cannot help but reflect the image you hold of yourself. This understanding is the foundation of conscious creation. The outer world bends to the inner conviction. When you change your mind, when you shift your feeling, when you awaken to your divine authorship, reality itself must obey. For everything you see outside is nothing more than yourself, pushed out. Imagination is the creative power behind all that exists. Everything you see in the visible world, every building, invention, work of art, and even the smallest detail of your life, first existed as an image within someone's mind. Nothing appears in form that did not first exist in consciousness. Imagination is not a daydream or a fleeting fantasy. It is the divine faculty through which reality is shaped. When you imagine something vividly and accept it emotionally as real, you plant the seed that must eventually blossom into physical expression. The unseen world of imagination is the workshop of creation. It is there that you form the patterns and blueprints that life must follow. The outer world is nothing more than crystallized imagination, thoughts and feelings that have condensed into visible form. The mistake most people make is believing that imagination is weak or make-believe, when in truth it is the most powerful force you possess. Everything begins within you. The thoughts you repeat, the pictures you dwell upon, the emotions you attach to them, these are the ingredients that mold your personal reality. When you imagine, you are not pretending. You are entering a higher dimension of creation. Your imagination is the bridge between the invisible and the visible. The moment you imagine something with feeling, not as a wish but as a fact already accomplished, the creative power of the universe begins to move to fulfill it. You may not see immediate evidence, but the unseen forces are already at work, aligning events, people, and circumstances to bring your inner vision into form. The secret is emotional acceptance. You must feel the reality of your imagination before it becomes visible. Thought alone is not enough. It is the union of thought and feeling that gives birth to form. When you emotionally accept a thing as true, your subconscious mind receives it as a command. The outer world then mirrors that belief back to you through what we call life events. What you see outside is the echo of what you have imagined and felt within. Think of your imagination as the womb of creation. It is always conceiving, gestating, and giving birth to the conditions of your life. Every fear, every doubt, every vision of success or failure begins there. You are always imagining, whether consciously or unconsciously. The difference between unconscious creation and conscious creation is awareness. Knowing that what you hold in mind with feeling must appear. So dare to imagine boldly. See yourself already living the life you desire. Feel the emotions you would feel if it were already done. Walk, speak, and think as though it were true now. Do not wait for the world to show you evidence before you believe. Believe first, and the evidence will appear. Imagination is not fantasy, it is reality in its invisible stage. When you understand this truth, you become the deliberate creator of your life, shaping your world from the inside out with the boundless power of your own mind. Feeling is the secret language through which creation speaks. Words alone hold little power unless they are charged with emotion. The universe does not respond to what you say or what you hope for. It responds to what you feel to be true. Feeling is the vibration, the inner frequency that communicates your state of being to the creative power within you. When you feel something deeply, joy, gratitude, fulfillment, or even fear, you are broadcasting that state to the infinite intelligence that shapes reality. The world then mirrors that vibration back to you through experiences, opportunities, and events that match the emotional tone you have sustained. Every feeling carries a message to the universe. When you feel lack, life reflects situations that confirm lack. When you feel abundance, you draw experiences that affirm abundance. Feeling is the magnetic force behind manifestation. It is the invisible energy that determines what takes shape in your visible world. Thoughts are like seeds, but feelings are the water and sunlight that cause them to grow. Without emotion, thought remains sterile. It never takes root in the subconscious mind. But once a thought is felt, once it becomes alive with emotion, it becomes a command to the creative power of life itself. Most people try to change their reality by forcing positive words or affirmations. Yet they do so while holding a feeling of doubt or unworthiness. The words may sound beautiful, but the feeling underneath contradicts them. The universe listens not to the words, but to the vibration beneath them. If your heart says, "I am lacking," while your lips say, "I am abundant," creation will always respond to the feeling, not the phrase. To consciously create, you must align your feelings with your desired outcome. This means dwelling not in the longing for what you want, but in the satisfaction of already having it. The feeling of the wish fulfilled is the key that opens the door to manifestation. You must learn to inhabit the emotional reality of your desire before it appears in form. When you can feel the joy, peace, and certainty of already being the person you wish to be, the universe has no choice but to reflect that state back to you. Feeling is not something you force, it is something you allow. You quiet the outer world, enter the silence of your imagination, and gently feel what it would be like if everything you desired were already true. You allow that feeling to grow until it becomes natural, until it feels real. In that moment, you have impressed your subconscious, and the creative law is set into motion. The unseen world begins to respond immediately. People move, events shift, opportunities align, all orchestrated by the silent power of your feeling. When you maintain this inner harmony, you realize that reality is not random, but responsive. The universe is not indifferent. It is attentive, always echoing the vibration of your heart. Feeling is the secret, the sacred language through which you and creation commune. The true shift in life does not begin with changing circumstances. It begins with a transformation of awareness. The outer world, with all its seeming solidity and complexity, is merely a reflection of the invisible movement that happens within you. The great shift, the one that alters everything, is not a rearrangement of external events, but an awakening of consciousness. When your inner self moves to a higher state of being, the outer world must reorganize itself to mirror that change. Nothing in life can remain the same when your awareness of yourself evolves. Most people look for transformation outside of themselves. They try to change jobs, relationships, or locations, believing those adjustments will bring peace or success. But until the inner state changes, the same patterns continue to appear, only wearing different faces. True change is not about forcing life to bend to your will. It is about shifting the center from which you perceive life. The moment you begin to see yourself differently, when you assume a new identity, a new state of being, the whole world begins to rearrange itself to reflect that inner movement. Awareness is the foundation of experience. Whatever you are aware of being, you are expressing in your world. If you are aware of being unloved, life shows you neglect and rejection. If you are aware of being abundant, life offers you opportunity and flow. The shift happens when you stop identifying with the old self, the one bound by fear, limitation, and doubt, and awaken to the truth that you are the creator of your own reality. This awakening is not dramatic on the surface. It is quiet, inward, and deeply personal. Yet, its effects ripple through every part of your existence. When the inner movement happens, nothing outside you needs to be forced. Circumstances that once resisted your effort begin to cooperate naturally. People change their attitudes toward you. Opportunities appear where there were none, and what once felt like struggle becomes effortless. The shift in awareness alters the vibration you send out, and reality, being responsive, mirrors that vibration in form. The law is unfailing. Change your consciousness, and your world must follow. The beauty of this truth is its simplicity. You don't need to wait for time or depend on luck. The shift can happen in a single moment of realization. The instant you decide to stop living from the old state and begin to live from the new. It may begin with a thought, a feeling, or a deep inner knowing that says, I am no longer who I was. That recognition alone is the birth of transformation. Every great change in life begins with this invisible movement of awareness. It is the silent turning of the soul toward truth. When your inner self awakens to its divine power, the outer world can no longer remain the same. Everything must adjust, for reality is compelled to reflect the consciousness that gives it life. The only true moment that exists is now. The past is a memory, and the future is a projection. Yet most people live trapped between the two, regretting what has been or anticipating what might come. But creation happens only in the present moment. The power to shape reality, to step into a new version of yourself, lies here and now. The present moment is the doorway to every reality you could ever experience. You do not become your desired self tomorrow. You become it the instant you assume the consciousness of already being that person. Every possible version of you already exists in consciousness. The person you long to become, more confident, peaceful, fulfilled, or successful, is not a distant dream, but a state of awareness available right now. The moment you align your thoughts and feelings with that state, you walk through the invisible doorway into that version of yourself. The outer world may take time to catch up, but the shift has already occurred within. Creation does not begin when the evidence appears. It begins when you make the internal decision to be. Most people delay their transformation by waiting for external proof. They say, "I'll feel successful when I see results," or "I'll feel loved when someone shows me love." But the universe does not work that way. The feeling must come first. The evidence follows. The present moment is your stage of creation. It is the place where you claim your new identity. You assume it not through force, but through acceptance. You enter the state of the wish fulfilled by feeling now what you would feel if it were already true. To live consciously in the present is to step beyond time. When you stop postponing your fulfillment and begin to feel it now, you collapse the distance between desire and manifestation. The universe recognizes no difference between what is imagined and what is physically real. It only responds to the state of being you occupy. If you feel abundant now, even before seeing evidence, you have already crossed into the reality where abundance is natural. If you feel loved now, you have already entered the world where love surrounds you. The present moment is sacred because it is the meeting point between the invisible and the visible. It is where imagination becomes form. Every time you bring your attention back to now, to the awareness that you already are what you desire to be, you open the door wider to your chosen reality. The mind may wander to the past or drift into the future, but creation only answers to the consciousness of the present. So release the habit of waiting. Let go of someday and step fully into the now. Feel yourself as already complete, already aligned, already living the life you have imagined. This is the secret of transformation, not striving, but assuming. The present moment is not just a pause between what was and what will be. It is the eternal doorway through which all new realities are born. Faith is the invisible bridge that connects what is unseen to what eventually becomes visible. It is a silent conviction that what you have imagined, what you have accepted within, must appear in the outer world. Faith is not blind hope or wishful thinking. It is the unwavering inner knowing that creation is complete the moment it is conceived in consciousness. When you hold to that knowing despite appearances, you are exercising the greatest creative power available to humanity. Everything you see in your world today was once unseen. Every building, every achievement, every transformation began first in the invisible realm of thought and belief. Faith is what carries the unseen idea across the bridge into material form. When you persist in faith, even when circumstances seem unchanged, you are declaring that your inner reality is more real than what your senses report. And because reality must obey the command of belief, the external world will eventually conform to your conviction. The mistake many make is to let the evidence of the senses dictate their faith. They believe only when they can see, and thus they remain stuck in the visible, never realizing that seeing comes after believing. Faith reverses that order. It calls the unseen into existence by assuming it is already done. To have faith is to walk as though the result were already here, to feel as though the promise has already been fulfilled. This is not pretending, it is aligning yourself with the truth that the invisible precedes the visible in all things. Faith requires persistence. It is easy to believe when signs appear, but true faith holds steady even in silence. When nothing seems to change, when doubt whispers that it's not working, faith stands firm. This persistence impresses the subconscious mind with the certainty of fulfillment. The subconscious then commands reality to bend and reshape itself to match that certainty. The moment you stop wavering between belief and doubt, the creative law moves swiftly, for it has received a clear instruction. To live by faith is to live from the end, to occupy the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and refuse to be moved by outer conditions. You no longer ask, when will it happen? Because in consciousness it already has. You walk as the person who possesses the thing desired, and life must mirror that identity back to you. Faith is the unseen hand that moves mountains, the quiet power that turns imagination into experience. This is why faith is not passive. It is creative action in silence. It does not beg or hope. It knows. It is the confident assurance that what is real within will soon be real without. When you persist in faith, the invisible substance of your belief begins to crystallize. Reality bends, events align, and the unseen becomes seen. Faith is the bridge between worlds, the power that makes the impossible inevitable. And so, as we come to the close of this message, remember this unshakable truth. The shift has already begun. Life is not waiting for your permission, it is responding to your awareness. The outer world bends to the inner state you choose to live from. When you dare to imagine boldly, to feel deeply, to believe unwaveringly, the universe reorganizes itself to honor that conviction. You are not a bystander in creation, you are its center. The power that shapes worlds is not somewhere distant, it is breathing within you now. Every moment you choose faith over fear, vision over doubt, love over limitation, you step deeper into the reality that is favoring you. So walk forward with calm assurance. Feel the quiet strength of knowing that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Reality is not against you. It is for you, with you, becoming you. The shift is here, and it began the moment you awakened to who you truly are. Thank you for listening, and may you continue to live from the truth that reality always mirrors the power within you.